Welcome to Gen Z Creatives. We're here with our podcasts, aiming to be the number one like never before. Today, we'll dive into one of the most iconic figures of our era, Andrew Emery Tate, aka Top G. We'll be starting our review of the book Top G, The Unfiltered Journey of Andrew Tate. We hope you will enjoy it. Let's get started.
Today, we're tackling a name you probably hear a lot, Andrew Tate.
Mm-hmm.
But, and this is important, our focus for this deep dive is super specific. We're only looking at him through the description of one particular book.
That's the key. Our source material today is just excerpts from a summary of a book description. The book's called Top G, The Unfiltered Journey of Andrew Tate.
Right. So, look, our mission here isn't to give you the definitive take on Andrew Tate. Not at all.
Right.
It's really about understanding what this specific book, based only on its advertising description, promises to tell you about him.
Yeah, it's like, what's the pitch? What does this one source claim it's going to deliver?
We're kind of unpacking the packaging, you could say. How does this book want to be seen? What story does it say it's telling?
Exactly. What clues does the description give us about how it plans to frame this very public and often controversial person?
Okay, so let's start with the basics, just the nuts and bolts from the source material about this book. Title, like you said, Top G, The Unfiltered Journey of Andrew Tate.
It's got that subtitle, too. From Maverick to Mogul, the Making, Mindset, and Mastery. Gives it a bit more shape.
Yeah, it does. And the author listed in our force is Basufakad G.
Right. And format-wise, it's down as a Kindle edition. The publication date listed is January 17th, 2025.
So quite recent, or upcoming, depending on when you're listening.
Mm-hmm. And the summary we have mentioned some other details. Print length is 185 pages.
And price-wise, seems accessible. $0 if you have Kindle Unlimited or $4.99 to buy.
Standard digital stuff, yeah. Available on different devices, apps. The description mentions Kindle features too, page flip, word-wise, the usual accessibility options.
Okay, so that's the container, the format.
So the frame set. What about the picture inside? What's the big promise the description makes?
Well, according to our source material, the description calls Tate's story an unparalleled odyssey.
Unparalleled odyssey. Okay, that's quite the statement right off the bat.
Yeah, it definitely sets a grand tone, doesn't it?
It elevates the whole thing. It's not just his life story. It's an odyssey.
For sure. And this odyssey, the description says, traces his path from the world of kickboxing to becoming a global icon.
Right. So that's the core arc the book seems to be promising. Kickboxer to global icon. That's a huge leap it plans to cover.
Definitely suggests a major transformation. So, okay, how does the description say the book actually, covers that ground? What specific things does it claim to explore? Our source summary lists them out.
Okay, first on the list is the making of the Maverick. Sounds like the origin story, right?
Yeah, suggests looking at his beginnings, early influences, what shaped him early on.
Then logically it moves from the rings to the stage. So that's clearly about the shift.
It's a transition, yeah. Athlete to, influencer or public figure.
Exactly. After that, the description lists the hustler's mindset.
And the source summary clarifies this is about unpacking the mental framework the book claims is behind his success.
Right, the how he thinks part, according to this book.
Now, this next one's pretty key, given everything. Controversy and character.
Ah, okay. So the description directly addresses the controversy.
It seems so.
Yeah.
It explicitly says the book plans to explore the man behind the headlines and, importantly, acknowledge the controversial stuff.
Yeah.
It's positioning itself as tackling that directly.
Interesting. And what about the language used? Sometimes descriptions use very specific wording.
Good point. Take the section titled The Philosophy of Tateism. According to our source, the book description labels his beliefs as controversial yet compelling.
Controversial yet compelling. That pairing is doing a lot of work, isn't it?
Totally. It acknowledges the criticism up front, controversial, that immediately adds compelling.
It sort of hints at the book's angle, maybe? Like, yes, it's debated, but there's something here that draws people in.
That's how it reads, yeah. It signals the book intends to explore why it might be seen as compelling, even amidst the controversy. It's definitely a specific framing choice in the description.
For sure. It tells you something about who they might be trying to reach, or how they want the ideas presented.
Okay, moving through the list from our source. Next is Mastering the Social Media Game, pitched as learning about digital dominance.
Makes sense, given his profile. And then, not surprisingly, money talks, wealth and influence.
Yep, focusing on the financial side, power, influence, standard stuff for a mogul narrative.
Then there's the art of the interview, insights into his media appearances.
And here's another one of those descriptive phrases you mentioned. The summary says the description calls his interview style confrontational yet charismatic.
There it is again, that duality. Confrontational acknowledges the aggression. Charismatic points to appeal.
Yeah, the description seems to consistently frame him with these contrasting terms. It suggests the book presents someone who navigates media with both, well, friction and charm.
According to the book's description, anyway.
Right, always according to the description. Then it lists legal battles and life lessons.
Oh, that's an interesting way to frame it. Not just legal troubles, but legal battles and life lessons.
Exactly. It implies the book intends to view these challenges through a particular lens.
Like trials that teach something.
Mm-hmm.
Personal growth, maybe?
That seems to be the implication in the description, yeah? Framing potentially negative events as learning opportunities.
Right, puts a specific spin on it.
And this next one, as a theme or chapter title, is pretty suggestive. Redemption or reinvention.
That poses a question directly, doesn't it?
It does. It suggests the book might explore, personal change, evolution, or maybe just a strategic rebranding. It leaves that door open in the description.
That's a potentially complex area to cover.
And finally, the descriptions list wraps up with the legacy of Top G, basically reflecting on his impact, leaving a mark.
Okay, so if you step back and look at that whole list, from origins, kickboxing, mindset, controversy, media, money, legal issues, potential reinvention, legacy.
Yeah.
The description is definitely laying out a very comprehensive sounding journey. It's giving you distinct stages and themes.
Absolutely. It's not just a vague bio of Tate. The description details the specific story arc it promises to follow.
And it doesn't stop there, right?
Yeah.
The description also apparently tells people why they should read it. What are the stated benefits?
Yeah, our source summary pulls those out too. Reason 1, to uncover the secrets behind one of the most polarizing figures in modern culture.
Okay, so positioning it as offering insider info, solving a puzzle, the secrets angle.
Mm-hmm. Then it suggests you can learn from a self-made mogul on how to navigate fame, wealth, and controversy.
Right, so it's framed as practical advice. Use his life as a roadmap for your own challenges in those areas.
And it gets even more specific on the practical side. Gain insider knowledge on social media strategy, personal branding, and the psychology of success.
So explicitly a how-to guide, almost. Using him as the case study for these business and personal development skills.
Seems that way. And the broadest promise, perhaps, is using his experiences to help you, the reader, navigate life's toughest challenges.
Wow. So it's pitching itself as offering lessons applicable to anyone's life struggles, drawing parallels.
Yeah. So taken together, those reasons position the book, or at least its description does, as much more than just a biography.
Right. It's framed as part success manual, part media playbook, part resilience guide, all seen through his story.
And who's the intended audience for this guide, according to the description?
The summary lists 3 groups mentioned: entrepreneurs, students of human behavior, and anyone fascinated by modern celebrity dynamics.
Makes sense. Hits the business mindset angle, the psychological social angle, and the general cultural interest angle.
Covers the bases. And what about the overall tone the description promises?
It emphasizes a raw, unfiltered look throughout. That phrase comes up.
Raw, unfiltered. Okay. That suggests, or wants to suggest, authenticity, directness.
Yeah, like you're getting the story without any sugarcoating. Pulling back the curtain. That's part of the appeal the description seems to be going for.
So let's bring this all together for the listener. What does focusing just on this book description tell you?
Well, it tells you very clearly how this one source is choosing to frame Andrew Tate's story.
Exactly. It shows the narrative arc it claims it will follow, the specific themes it says it will focus on.
And the benefits it promises you'll get from reading it, it's essentially the book's mission statement, its sales pitch.
It's a map of the book's stated intentions. Understanding that map, that premise, is useful before you even open page 1, right?
Mm-hmm.
It helps you understand the perspective being offered by this particular source.
Totally. It's about understanding the narrative being constructed in the description.
And remember, everything we've discussed here, the title, the chapters, the whys, the tone, comes directly from our source material, which is the summary of the book description for Top G, The Unfiltered Journey of Andrew Tate.
We've seen the journey it promises, the specific angles like controversial yet compelling or confrontational yet charismatic that the description uses.
The way it frames challenges as lessons and the promise of raw insight. It's quite a detailed blueprint in that description.
It really is. And, it leaves us with a final thought, maybe something for you to mull over. Considering the specific themes this book description highlights, especially things like controversy and character, legal battles and life lessons, and that very intriguing redemption or reinvention, just the way this description chooses to package a controversial figure, weaving these elements together and promising lessons on success and resilience. What does that specific approach suggest about how polarizing figures are presented, maybe even marketed and consumed in our current media landscape?
That's a good question. What does this kind of framing tell us about the narratives we encounter around complex public figures today?
Something to think about.
That's all for today. We hope you enjoyed the episode. Tune in for the next one, Gen Z Creatives. There's so much more to uncover. Thank you for joining us. Bye-bye.